Hi, dinner for one? Not tonight. Tonight it's dinner for two. I have heated up some chicken and biscuits in my crispy, and it's still very hot. I have a silicone mat on the table so I don't burn my little cushion. I've poured us a drink of tea, lit a nice candle, and then over here, well, the rest over here, we've got some corn, some green bean casserole, and some potatoes with just a titch of gravy. I have some fruit salad and some apple crisp just off to the side here for something sweet. And tonight I want to talk about starting this phase of our life. So, when you're alone and when you have to eat alone, it really feels a lot like nobody else is left in the world, or everybody else is left in the world, but you're the only one that doesn't have that somebody or that connection. And that's really difficult and it's tough. There is a strange juxtaposition between, you know, being alone by yourself and then getting lonely. Some of us choose, right? And by choose, I mean we've decided that we would rather not be in a situation that's not good for us. So we choose to be alone, but then in setting off on our own, we become lonely. And a lot of people, and I'm just kind of speaking from my own experience, like to remind me that I'm alone by choice. That's true, but it doesn't mean that I shouldn't be connected to someone. So, I don't want you to have to eat alone again. The reason that I created a seat at my table is so that there is always room for the one that feels lonely, the one that feels forgotten, the one that feels like, what am I even doing? How do I navigate this? How do I get my way through this point in life? Perhaps you are starting over because of the loss of a partner, whether it be through a medical loss or through betrayal and brokenhearted hardships, which a lot of people in life face in their middle age. And now we have to navigate the second part of our life where we're no longer caretakers for people. We don't have a set everyday routine, and we have to get through every day on our own and still not fall beautifully apart in front of the whole world. I think that the important thing here is to know that you're not alone. This is a safe space. And in this space, I will discuss a great many things because I'm one of those Gen Xers who is now trying to navigate what it looks like to do this thing alone. You can go to work every day and you can pay your bills and you can do all of that, and that's all good and fine. We've been doing that for a few decades now. But the thing that's difficult is, what do I do now when I want to go to an event or do something and I want a person? Actually, I don't want a person. I want my person. I want somebody there with me. So if I have to sit at this table, I want a community. I want you to be my person that I have dinner with. Dinner alone is no longer going to exist at this table. And you're always welcome here. And I welcome everyone's input and everyone's candor. Starting over in your life, like I said, whether it be that you're an empty nester, Perhaps you've always been alone. Perhaps you've just become alone. Or maybe now that you are an empty nester, you realize, wow, I really never see my spouse. We are on opposite schedules. It doesn't matter what it is. You don't have to be single to be here. You don't have to be widowed to be here. You don't have to be anything. You just have to want a little bit of companionship, a little bit of company, some interaction, and certainly some laughs. I am a hoot. I'll tell you that myself. And I can get off on a good tangent, just like the rest of us. But I know a great many things. I've done a great many things. And I think that there's nothing better than community. And I want everybody to get something from this. So your input certainly is appreciated and is requested, actually. If you want to come in here and just, kind of be Debbie Downer, I mean, everybody goes through those days, but as far as the thoughts about this channel, not everybody's going to like it. And if it's not for you, please continue to look around for what your thing is. It is really none of my business what other people think of me. I am pretty unapologetic. I think that we all are, kind of, at this point in our lives. But I know who I am. I know what I'd like to get out of this platform. And it is community, and it is talks about our health, how our life is changing, how our perspective has to change now. Maybe a little bit about how now, for the first time in my life, because of my age, I see people dismissing me. And it's funny because what is the point in your life where you stop being the asset? The person that, people say, oh, you're such a calming presence. Oh, I love our talks. Oh, I think you're so wise. What is the point that you go from that to, she's always talking, she's old, blah, 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 whatever. I work in healthcare, and I have seen it for a very long time. I guess I just assumed, sorry, I'm eating my chicken with my hands, but I like to. I just assumed it would come later, like when I was in my 70s, maybe 80s, maybe 90s. There's something about our culture that doesn't value the insights of people with experience, which I find kind of funny because if you look around, it is interesting that the common sense of what seems to be almost a whole generation is failing to be present. So I do find it funny that they're not interested in finding out what our level of knowledge is. Watching a video today, and it was a Japanese theory about changing your perspective on things. Something isn't necessarily old, it's aged. The lines are not on your face are not ugly because they're wrinkles. They're a map of the experiences of your life, right? So I have lots and lots of smile lines around my eyes, and I would much rather have those than the deep, almost scarring lines from people who are unhappy. Now, by the same token, a long, long time ago, I started raising one eyebrow. So now I find it interesting that one of my eyelids is kind of droopy and it's kind of wrinkles more when I try to put makeup on. And then the other one is nice and it's still lifted. Well, of course, because it's the one I still always exercise all of the time. Especially now because being dismissed makes you look skeptical a lot. And sometimes I get the skeptical look to my appearance. I'm so happy to have you join me. And I can't wait until I get your comments and I get your request for content as well. There are so many things that I've already come up with that I feel even just in the last 2 or 3 years for me have changed. And I'm 100% sure that they are one, age related, and two, related to the fact that I am living this individual existence here. And definitely have changed because I now have a need for community. I need someone here to bounce my own thoughts and ideas and fears and concerns and little anecdotes off of. We are not an island to ourselves, none of us. And someone just told me recently, and 100% I agree, human beings were not put here to be alone. And we have 3 degrees of separation between just about everybody that we come in contact with. So it's time that we build that bridge and we reach one another and we interact and we really take the time to cultivate some semblance of a relationship with the people that we have contact with. I love sharing my life, sharing my experiences. Even at work, I'm in front of people every single day, and I am trying to share some of my knowledge, some of my experience. And to me, you cannot do a greater service to people than to bring them along on your journey so that maybe they'll learn something along the way. And it's a really good feeling when you get to the end of a day and somebody says, that was really good. I learned a lot today. And I want to learn more and I want to share what I know. So definitely let's make this happen. Come back. There is always a spot for you. Join me. I love the company.